Solid FM 92.5. Solid FM. Celebrating the beauty of one.
Hello, my people, I welcome you to the Fasasi Youth Foundation Civic Voice Radio program right here on your number one out of 2.5 FM Keffi. On this section of our interaction, I'm your man, City Soldier. I'm going to be hosting the founder of the Fasasi Youth Foundation in the person of the Fasasi Sodiq. You are highly welcome to this section of our interaction.
Thank you so much. Nice to have you.
And as well, on my other hand, I have Aisha and Ndakun right here, who is also one of the executives of the Fasasi Youth Foundation. Aisha and Ndakun, you are highly welcome to this section of our interaction.
Thank you for having me.
So right now, without taking much time, we're going to move on to the next chapter fast. I have to understand that why a lot of people are asking, why are we where we are as a country, Nigeria? Why are things not going the way they should go? You know, now the Fasasi Youth Foundation realized that it's all about doing something. And they're coming up here with the Civic Voice Radio program to sensitize young people and the public at large out there to let them understand that, look, it starts with understanding your civic responsibilities. What are the do's and the don'ts, the ethics of human existence? Okay, then how do you do a follow-up is what is going to be put up in so many packages. But today we're going to be looking at the particular topic. First of all, this is the first edition, so we're going to be starting up with introducing the Civic Voice Radio program on your number one 92.5 FM Keffi, like from Roots to Leadership, and then of course from campus to councils. So we're going to get to know more about that as I'll be bringing up on our discussion right now, Mr. Fasasi Sodiq. You tell us the background of the Fasasi Youth Foundation, and then more precisely, you tell us more about the Civic Voice Radio program that your foundation is pulling through on 92.5 FM Keffi.
All right, thank you very much for having me, City Soldier. So the Fasasi Youth Foundation is a youth-led organization. Okay. And the aim of the organization is to advance civic leadership and promote leadership amongst young people in this country. The organization is anchored on 5 core thematics, which is education and awareness, community engagement, support services, policy advocacy, monitoring and evaluation. So these 5 thematics are basically to make sure that we bridge the gap of development and democratize development, not just amongst young people, but to make sure that they understand what leadership is actually all about. Now, when we talk about civic radio program, the civic radio program is one of the arms of our project, which is Roots2Leadership and Governance project. One
of the arms. Like when you talk about one of the arms, can you just give us a brief insight of some of the other arms to know the specification?
Okay, so the Roots2Leadership project is more of a funded project from the Nigerian Youth Futures Fund, and the project is of 3 phases. So the first phase is a 3-month online fellowship where we selected 50 selected fellows across tertiary institutions in Nasarawa State, and we have faculty members that took them through some rigors of leadership, understanding accountability in leadership, understand how politics work at the grassroots level. Then the second phase is the phase that we are about to do, which is a closeout ceremony. The closeout ceremony is more like the graduation ceremony for all the 50 selected fellows. We have 50 selected fellows. Out of the 50 selected fellows, we have 24 fellows that have scaled through the graduation phase. Then the third phase is this the radio session, the civic, and the essence of the civic radio is to amplify the voice of what we are doing, because we believe that radio station is more like a traditional platform that has been in existence even pre-independence and post-independence. So the essence of radio is to make sure that many people across the country get to know more about what we are doing. And when we come to Nasarawa, we were told that Nasarawa broadcasting services have that reach. Broadcasting service have that reach that we actually want to reach more people across Nasarawa State and let them understand the essence of this project. Understand, as just as the name implies, root to leadership, bringing leadership to the grassroots level. Yeah.
I love the fact that you talked about bringing leadership to the grassroots. But when you talk also about roots to leadership, so it's more like you are trying to source leadership from the grassroots to their respective positions in the society.
Absolutely.
Okay, so anyway, let me quickly get to our next guest who is right here with us in the studio. Aisha, you're highly welcome once again. And Ndakun, you're highly welcome.
Okay, so I am the project support for the Fasasi Youth Foundation.
Okay.
And I support project coordination, capacity building, and training for the Fasasi Youth Foundation.
Okay.
So for this project that has been organized by the Fasasi Youth Foundation with the support from the NYFF.
When you say NYFF, what does that mean?
Nigerian Youth Future Fund.
Okay.
NYFF. So the project is of two components, like he has stated.
Yeah.
So we have three, We have
Three
the
components.
fellowship, yes. So the essence for this civic talk is to widen the conversation around civic education, youth participation in politics. So our aim is to source them from the tertiary institutions here in Nasarawa State. You could vie for positions even within the school and then outside the school, after which you've undergone these various rigorous trainings. So it's not everybody that had the opportunity of being a fellow. So bringing this conversation to the radio house would further expose other people who do not have that opportunity as fellows to know the conversation at hand and to know how and the processes to which they can influence government's decisions, policy making, like how projects are being implemented, implementing projects. There's a lot of things that we are neglecting as youth and as young people, and the Fasasi Youth Foundation thought it through to say, okay, why don't we just do something for Nasarawa? Let's start from Nasarawa, where we bring together students for them to get engaged, be trained on how to vie for positions, how to influence government policies, how to bring about community development. Because, civic education does not really it goes beyond voting.
Yes. Anyway, in a brief, let me comment here. When you talk about the processes, you talk about how somebody can become a fellow, of your foundation. What are the processes that qualify someone to become a fellow?
Okay, so the fellowship has actually ended.
Okay.
Yes,
So
and it's ending with the closeout section, which is being 11th.
On the 11th of July.
Yes, 11th of July. 2026.
Okay.
So you made mention of the qualifications or
being a
how
fellow.
fellows could be qualified. So we sent out application notes, and then we actually got over 100 and something applications.
What mechanisms did you use to send the application notes?
Okay, it was through social media actually. Social media. Social media, we leveraged on social media a lot.
Okay.
So it was through social media and then acquaintances, people in the institutions also. So we got applications came in and we had to rigorously screen out, and then we came about 50, and then from that 50, many are selected, few are chosen. So that point we're able to get 24 out of that 50 that are graduating.
Wow, so you're going to be graduating 24 people, 24 fellows. Wow, I'm liking this conversation, but let's quickly go on a brief music break.
Stand as a people with one song, with one voice. We're a nation undivided and poised. We will take a stand and build our land in faith to defend what is ours. Here we are as a people with one heart for one cause. We're determined to rebuild and restore. hope for us all. A land where there's hope for us all.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you're still listening to the Civic Voice radio program sponsored by the Fasasi Youth Foundation, supported by the Nigerian Youth Futures Fund here. But let me still get back to the founder here, since we have Mr. Sodiq is here with us in the studio. Mr. Sodiq, now this Fasasi Youth Foundation, it's becoming so laudable to me. You know, I didn't see it from this direction, but now that I'm getting more insight about it, I think it's something very big that many people want to be part of what you people are doing. So in a brief, can you just give us the background origin of the Fasasi Youth Foundation?
Okay, so the Fasasi Youth, if you look at the shirt I'm putting on,
yes,
the Fasasi Youth Foundation started from the National Youth Inclusive Initiative.
Okay.
So the National Youth Inclusive Initiative is more like the umbrella body. So when we wanted to register this organization, this
CAC?
particular, the CAC,
Okay.
you know, because of some of their policies, so they now said, okay, they can't register national, any name that starts with national. So then that was how we registered the Fasasi Youth Foundation. So the essence of if you can see the name National Youth Inclusive Initiative, the Fasasi Youth Foundation, is to bridge inclusion amongst young people. If you look at the position that have been appointed to young people,
yes,
you see like essays on social media, you see some funny portfolios that is being given to young people. We want young people to be at the table. If you look at Not Too Young to Run Act, the essence of that act is to make sure that young people are fully represented.
Yeah.
But yet there are still some other challenges, which is when you look at some financial challenges, most especially if you want to get a political party, if you are a member of a political party,
yes,
and you want to get a ticket to contest for House of Rep, you know how much is that, right? For example, then before you even talk about contesting for governorship position, you know how outrageous some of this amount of money. So the advocate, the essence of this organization, the Fasasi Youth Foundation, is to bridge the gap, to actually be like the gap between the young people and the government, to create an enabling environment.
Okay, I would have loved to ask, what are the ways that you want to, you know, equip these young people to be able to bridge that gap? But before we go there, let me get back to Aisha here, because she made mention of how you are training these young people, you know, and trying to empower them. And also you talked about these fellows graduating on the 11th, you know, about 24 fellows. So let's look at these fellows now. What are going to be their responsibility?
Okay, so the graduating fellows will be saddled with the responsibility of being informed about what leadership is. Actually made available for them all the information they needed to know about leadership, about community development, about influencing policies. So these responsibilities now lies on them. And we have a success story.
Okay.
Because out of this fellows, 2 persons vied for positions in their various universities, of which 1 person emerged. So that is a success story for us, the Fasasi Youth Foundation. So these responsibilities are what they are being saddled with and more, that represent the youth at
various places.
Yes.
Okay, now part of your success story is the fact that these young people have vied in positions in their respective tertiary institutions and they emerge as winners. So this whole grooming these young people to leadership, from the roots to leadership, is it just within the campus communities?
Okay, so it's not within the campus community. So it's the campus community and the people in Nasarawa State.
Wow. Mr. Sodiq, this is really huge. I must be very honest to say that. But, you know, for Nasarawa State alone, we have over 17 tertiary institutions. Are you aware of that?
Absolutely.
Okay. So can you say that all the tertiary institutions in Nasarawa State are carried along on this project?
We have selected tertiary institutions that we're working with.
Why?
We're working with because this is the first phase of this project. We are still going to actually come for the second phase, which we are trusting God to get other support. that will make us to expand to some of other tertiary institutions. But for now, we are working with some very good institutes. I know all of them are good. We have the Federal University Lafia, Isa Agwai Polytechnic Lafia. We have
Isa Agwai the first.
Yes, the one in Lafia.
You know when you don't put the first.
Okay, Isa Agwai the first Polytechnic in Lafia. Then we have Federal Polytechnic Nasarawa. Then we have this College of Nursing here in Keffi.
College of Health Science and
College of Health Science and Tech, the one in Keffi here. Then we also have Nasarawa State University, Keffi. So we have fellows across these tertiary institutions. So when we sent out our applications, some of the universities and some of other institutions, those tertiary institutions, many of them were part of those people that applied. But the selection teams had to filter some people out based on what the project captured. Because we are going to be having what we call Civic Lab. Now, the Civic Lab is going to be the responsibility of the fellows.
Anyway, for the sake of time on today's episode, because I think we're going to have to be getting to listen to members of the public out there. So for the sake of time, I think that Civic Lab, we're going to have to schedule it for another edition. Probably another episode, we're going to dwell more on that. But coming back here, so what you're trying to say in essence is that, all of these fellows, are they students?
All of them are students. All the 50 selected fellows are students. The 24 that will be graduating are all students.
You must have to be a student to be a fellow.
Based on the scope of this particular project, it's actually for students. Yeah, in Nasarawa State. Yeah, so that is why I said subsequently we could have some kind of funding that we captured people that are also maybe graduates or people that are just members of the public or anybody that is interested in leadership or policy making and anything that has to do with developing our country. But for this particular project, according to the scope of the project from the Nigerian Youth Futures Fund, captured in our proposal, it has to be students.
Wow, this is wonderful, ladies and gentlemen. We are drawing closer to the end of this interaction right here without taking much time. Mr. Sodiq, you're going to be rounding up here. But this is where I want you to round up. What are your challenges that you have been going through so far, so good, that your organization is going through in trying to raise these young people to the position of leadership?
You see, one of the things I would like to see, most especially when you talk about the challenges that we have faced or some of the challenges that have confronted us, is the lack of willingness from some young people. Okay. A lot of young people are not actually interested in leadership. Okay. I think there is this kind of social media influence. A lot of people are just looking for money. Most of the time when you talk about leadership, when you talk about nation building, people feel like Nigeria has gotten to the extent that it's irreparable. That Nigeria cannot be repaired again. So when you are trying to, we face that kind of challenges even with the students too.
To see the positivism.
Yes. So we have two sets of people. We have people that are pessimists and we have people that are optimists. Some of us, we are highly optimistic about the growth and development of this republic. But a lot of people, most especially young people, they have lost interest in any kind of conversation that has to do with this country.
Believing that Nigeria is a great country.
Yes. So to the public, what I'm going to be charging the public is that no matter how you see this country, this is the only country you have. If you graduate from your universities or you have a degree and you travel to London, take for instance,
if you like our dear president, right?
Yes, you travel to any part of the world, you are a second-class citizen in that place. And you will be treated like a second-class citizen. This is your country. So it is not angels that develop those countries. The people that develop those countries are humans like us. So if they can develop their country, we should come home and join our hands together and fix this country. It was because our parents yesterday, they left politics, they left leadership to the people that are there today. And that is why everything has gone to this current state that it is today. So if we also abandon it and we feel like Nigeria has become so spoiled, it's irreparable, we can't fix it, I cannot come and kill myself, and you leave your country, then we leave the country to remain in the state that it is. So we must come together and fix this country.
Mr. Sodiq, before you go, you made a very vital point, talking about some youths don't have interest any longer.
Absolutely.
And they are quite pessimistic.
Absolutely.
But let's look at it here. We also understand that most of these youths are young people that are being used, to perpetrate social vices and some set of criminal activities in the country. What do you have to say about that? And what role do you think your organization is going to play to bring out this youth from such states of vices?
Thank you very much. Under our thematic area, we have the one we call support services. Under the support services, it's more like a counseling platform whereby some of those young people that have become tools of destruction that politicians have some politicians have spotted them, that they can use them to actually undermine the development of this country. What the foundation, we have selected people that absorb those kind of young people, give them platform for them to actually head, at least a platform for them to talk, express themselves, and ask them what can they do. What do they think they can do to actually change the current status quo? So the support services platform of this organization is to create a platform where young people get that mental health support for them to actually see that they are not supposed to be like this. This is how they are supposed to be. And we give them examples of people that actually, young people that have made names for themselves in this country.
Oh my God, listening to both of you, I feel like we're going to keep this conversation going on and on. But for the sake of time, we're going to have to be wrapping it up here till we get back to you in our next edition of this interaction right here on Civic Voice Radio program put together by the Fasasi Youth Foundation. Once again, I'm in the studio right here with Mr. Sodiq Fasasi, and then of course we have Aisha and Ndakun right here with us in the studio talking wonderfully about the roles of young people in societal development, and of course most importantly to leadership. Okay, this is how far we can go till we get back to you next edition. I'm your man, City Soldier, and you are listening to 92.5 FM Keffi. Thank you.